So I think it's pretty much safe to say goodbye to our night flower farming method. You will definitely be missed. Not only has this been completely nuked out of the stratosphere and no longer works even under normal full moon conditions, but farming guild points has also been affected. Or has it? Well, say hello to the best new decorations and guild points farming methods, so without further ado, let's jump right in it. Now, quick disclaimer, there are two patch notes here that affect two of our farms. One completely prevents the night flower from blooming no matter what, and the second one affects our guild points farming method. However, for the second one, I have a very good workaround that's even better than before. So for the first one, I tried literally everything. I tried to completely shut off and restart the application. I went into a full lobby. I tried all the Balahara missions. I even went ahead and passed the time the normal way via resting until a night with a full moon. And even under these normal circumstances, the night flower was not blooming no matter how long I was waiting there. So this leads me to believe that Capcom completely disabled that feature until maybe they figure out exactly how to implement a fix for this, let's be honest, exploit. Meanwhile, for the guild points farming method at the cave in Area 8 Scarlet Forest, you're going to now notice that whenever you're trying to capture a fish with the capture net, every other fish around it will just swim away and despawn after a couple of seconds. But we're gonna still be able to catch a lot of those, and the farming method largely just remains unaffected if you follow some of my instructions in just a little bit. However, two things remain unchanged, and that's the silver lining here. One is that you can still trade in your old pollen with Seka, as it's going to continue to stay the same as it used to be before the patch, so you can just refresh it via resting and you're going to notice those golden tickets popping off. And in the case of the golden tickets, they will still have the same value of points when you trade it in at the melding pot, meaning that you can still trade the old ones in for the same amount of decorations or Artian parts as it's always been the case. Thank God at least those were not affected. So with that out of the way, we're going to, at least in the case of the decorations and the Artian weapon parts, revert back to the best former method we had before with a few tips that I have to make them more efficient. In this case, the best are going to be the duo great hunts, especially ones that include at least one apex predator. In this case, I recommend farming Argveld back to back. So any great duo hunt that includes Argveld and any of the other monsters, as you can see, will give you a ton of bonus decorations, up to 20, which is going to be quite common. So in this case, what you're going to want to do is just rest at the camp, or whenever you find yourself resting. After you've done that, check the map for any duo hunt that also involves Argveld, and in this case, you can complete it up to 7 times. First time, when you first see it on the map, you can just go ahead and begin the hunt right away. The next 3 times you can complete it again if you check your field history page and pay the extra 200 to 300 points over there. You can complete it 3 more times before it disappears from this page. And if you also saved it into your investigations from the secondary page, you can further complete it 3 more times. So that's 7 in total, or in the case of this mission I have here, that would equate to 140 decorations very easily, though it will take roughly 1 hour for me to fully finish this off with some of the downtime I would have in between the missions. But that is still quite respectable, not nearly close to the other methods, but it's still going to be over 100 easy max decorations you can have the chance of getting. The same would go for the Artian parts as well. In this case, we're also looking for duo hunts, except we must have at least 1 tempered apex predator in it. Again, fully recommending Argveld, as by this point everybody learned its rotation. In my opinion, it's the easiest of the apex predators, and it's going to be very quick. And as you can see, we get a ton of these bonus rewards, from 10 to 20 give or take, depending how lucky you are. So always check the map, always save these, complete them 7 times, and that's going to be 1 hour of farming that will provide sufficient materials for you to continue crafting. However, there's one extra farming method that I want you to consider in the meantime, and that's going to include any of these bonus hunts that list as a bonus reward a guaranteed beast gem. This is actually going to be the best way to go for these gems, because you're literally getting them 100% as long as you finish those missions. And here's the kicker: literally every single beast gem in the game has a chance to pop off as a bonus reward to some of these hunts. So whenever you check out the map, make sure that you save these with the beast gems over here. Now, why would you want the beast gems in the first place? Well, it's because they have the highest value when you trade them in, especially for armor spheres. The lowest of the beast gems sell for at least 300 points over here, which is going to be for the lowest quality and easiest to get one. But in the case of some of the Apex variants like Uthduna and especially the Argveld version, as you can see, they sell for 1,000 points each. And the thing about Argveld is that as you complete a lot of those expeditions and hunts, and especially if you pay attention and get lucky with a bonus guarantee reward like this, you can actually transform this into a very good farming method. I have about 11 of these left, but I had way more when I traded in before because I simply farmed Argveld back to back for the past couple of weeks to get the gems before doing some of those other exploit-ish farming methods. So pay attention to these, trade them in, and that's going to give you a nice, good way over there to boost your armor, get even more defenses, and survive for even longer to take down these monsters even easier. But this also brings us to our guild points farming method / ancient wyvern coin farming method, which remains largely unaffected, and there's actually a way to farm this without using a single guild point to reset the timer or advance the time. So let me show you what I mean by that. The change here affected is that obviously when you cast a net, those fish will actually try to swim away in fear, but you still have a couple of seconds to still grab them from the water as they try to despawn. And second of all, another thing I recommend is to always aim at a batch of fish to capture multiple at the same time. So we're going to take advantage of the way they spawn immediately as they group up in a single location to grab them right away in one single or two nets at max. So let me show you what I'm going to do right now from this cave right here, which is located in the Scarlet Forest Area 8. It's behind this waterfall, so if you go here, set up a camp and rest to plenty and daytime. We only need to do this literally once at the start of the farming method. From this point on, the moment your character exits the tent, immediately head over to the first location here by the edge of this rock. And notice how the fish start spawning in from the right side. Simply wait for at least a couple or 3 of them to spawn in. Sometimes many more will actually spawn, but they will linger there for at least 2 to 3 seconds. And the moment you see them spawning in that way, cast a net and, like I just did, capture multiple of them at the same time. And if any of them manage to escape, you still have a couple of seconds to redirect your aim and capture them as they try to swim away. In this case, again, we are successful. And the thing about this is that it only affects the fish in the immediate vicinity. So for example, the ones a bit to our left in the front are still going to be there. So we can go in and capture them. This only applies to the gold and the platinum fish, by the way. Some of the other options in there don't even get scared at all, so you're free to continue to capture them. And from this point on, you're going to notice that we also have the other side, so the ancient wyvern coin. This is also going to be a very good method for that. We're going to go in, grab the coin, and we're going to rinse and repeat the same process for these other batch of fish right here. So once again, repeating the same process, casting the net at multiple fish at the same time, and then trying to capture the ones fleeing away as soon as I can. And yeah, you're going to still maybe, I don't know, miss a couple of them, but you're still going to get most of them, which is going to be more than enough. But like I said, I promised you this will not cost any extra guild points past our initial rest timer. And that is because from now on, instead of going to rest at the tent, we can simply go outside of this region and then teleport back in, and it's going to fully reset the fish spawn rate the exact same way, even the ancient wyvern coin. So I'm just gonna go here to the Peaks of Accord just because I like it, and the moment I'm here, I'm going to go ahead, pop off the map again, and teleport back to the same Area 8 cave. And once we're back in, we're going to immediately go at the first fish spawn point, and we're going to rinse and repeat the same process. As we can see, the fish have already started spawning back in, so we can go ahead and just capture multiple of them at the same time. And if we take a look into the background, we can see that the ancient wyvern coin has spawned yet again. In fact, I have done this pretty much over the course of half an hour at this point, and basically I've seen the ancient Wyvern coin spawning almost every single time. Like pretty much 9 times out of 10 for me, it constantly spawned over there, which is going to make sense in a little bit. But in the meantime, we're going to just go ahead and capture some of the other fish over here and rinse and repeat this for about an hour if you really need like 30k extra guild points and of course some extra money. I got about 3,000 in like 5 minutes, so 30k per hour is still very much doable. We can, by the way, go ahead and sell the fish scales that we get the same way by trading them in at our tent. You can definitely make a few 100k zani over here just from like 30 minutes to an hour of farming. But if you do this continuously, we can also kind of use the ancient Wyvern coins to get some spare golden tickets. It's not going to be the best of the options. It's not definitely as good as it used to be before, but it's still an extra few tickets here and there you can get. So in this case, we can go ahead and now just trade with Gog instead of Seka. And as you can see, it has a chance to give us 2 golden tickets, and one of them costs 30 of those Wyvern coins, so you can still get some extra golden tickets to funnel back in. Yes, it's not as efficient as it used to be with the Nightflower pollen, but this is a nice way of getting some extra when you're doing the guild points farming method in the meantime. But yeah, that pretty much concludes today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.